let's just say the worst thing is, and it'll be a little graphic, you know, I was in the military, but when I was in the military in Saudi Arabia during the Gulf War back in the 1900s, we had to do burning detail.
Oh, that is no fun.
So cleaning bathrooms, I'm like, okay, no big deal.
Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Lucille. I'd like to say first of all, thank you to all of you who have come over from Cheap RV Living from my interview with Bob. He's really awesome. But I want to say thank you to the new subscribers. I really appreciate it, and I really hope you're going to enjoy my channel like you do his. So in this video, we are going to be meeting with a really nice lady I've met. Her name is Suzy Q, and she is a camp host here at the campground that I am currently at. And I thought it would be really awesome to do an interview with her to kind of give you guys an idea of what her daily tasks are, what her challenges might be. I also thought it would help out any of you folks out there who might be considering doing the same thing. I'm super grateful to her for agreeing to do the interview. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button, give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and enjoy. Okay, everybody, meet Suzy Q. Say hi.
Hi.
This is my camp host here at the campground that I'm staying at. Not sure yet if I want to disclose where I am.
We're not mentioning the name because it is a beautiful hidden gem. But if you really want to know, you got to reach out to Lucille.
Yeah. So we are going to ask her a few questions about what it's like to be a camp host and how long she's been doing it and how long she thinks she'll keep doing it. Okay, Suzy, so what made you do this and how long have you been doing it?
So this is my 4th summer up here. Sorry for touching my face. There's a lot of mosquitoes around me.
Yeah.
So I came up here in 2021. It was, I think, middle of May 2021. My husband and I were supposed to camp up near Big Lake at the other campsite. And when we came in, I told the host there, I said, man, I really wish I could get a job or some place to stay up here all summer long so I can keep writing my book. And she says, oh, have you ever thought of being a camp host? And I said, no, what does it entail? She handed me an application, told me a little bit more. And then Tuesday morning, the managers came over at about 7:30 and said, are you the ones interested in being the host? We said yes, and they told us to come over here and check out this campground. And they said, now we're going to tell you it's very primitive, just in the middle of everything, but completely surrounded by pines, aspens, birch, etc. And I said, oh my gosh, it sounds like heaven. This is what I want. So we came over, we drove down the entrance, and as soon as we came around the corner and it was just the trees,
I love that entrance. And how long ago was that?
So that was the middle of May 2021.
Nice. Okay.
So I'm just starting my 4th year up here. I am by myself because my husband's still working full time. Unfortunate soul. I retired in 2018 after a career in law enforcement as a deputy sheriff.
Thank you for your service.
Absolutely. And I just needed a place where I can continue healing. I had started therapy for my complex PTSD, major depression, all the other things, you know, between being in the military, being in law enforcement, multiple medical issues, cancer twice, many kidney infections, kidney stones.
Man, you've survived a lot.
Yes.
You're a rock star. But look at this place, you guys.
Yes.
I mean, this place, if this isn't the best place to heal, I don't know.
And that's what I tell everybody. This is my magical forest, and this is where I needed to be to heal. And of course, as we know, with PTSD, it's a continuous healing journey.
For sure.
But where I'm at now compared to where I was 4 years ago is just incomparable. So I love it.
What do you think is your favorite part of this job?
Honestly, I love meeting people and having actual connections with them, like I did with you, like I did with the family that's here, Robin, other people. It's having those deep connections with people. I'm not one of those that I can't do small
I
talk.
just wanted to make a note that I met her through one of my women RV pages on Facebook.
Yep.
And she reached out. I just made a comment that I was in the area camping. And she said, hey, come say hi. And I'm so glad she did because this place is awesome. I'll definitely be back. So I'm very grateful. Let's talk about the worst thing of this job.
Okay.
I don't know if there's multiple things or.
Let's just say the worst thing is, and it'll be a little graphic, you know, I was in the military, but when I was in the military in Saudi Arabia during the Gulf War back in the 1900s, we had to do burning detail.
Oh, that is no fun.
So cleaning bathrooms, I'm like, okay, no big deal. Yeah. They're vault toilets. They're over 50 years old. But I do what I can to keep them clean and, you know, working order. But some people, for some reason, just can't seem to hit the hole.
Yeah, what's up with that?
I am not sure. And so I think it was last week or the week before I went in, and there was poop down the back of the vault toilet, somehow on the wall, on the floor. And last year I had the same thing, but it was in one of my group sites and nobody was staying there. So somebody purposely went there and made a mess. And I was there for like 45 minutes scrubbing, cleaning, degloving and regloving.
Yeah, that would suck. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty bad.
Yeah, I would say that's the worst. The good thing is I really don't have people that stay here that are problems.
Yeah.
Because it is primitive. There's no hookups. So the people that come here want to come here just because they want to enjoy nature. They want to see the elk. They want to hear the wind blowing through the trees and all the different things. They want to enjoy 9,400 feet elevation. So I really haven't had an issue with a whole lot of people, but if there's an issue and I have to be stern with them, yeah. I just bring out the deputy sheriff.
I was going to say, having that kind of background, I was going to ask, have you had situations where you have to get aggressive with somebody because they're being...
Yeah. So I've had a couple. I didn't really have to be overly aggressive. I think it was just because it was stern, and the one thing they taught us in the academy was your command presence. So even though I'm not in my uniform, it's still, I am in charge of this campground. So when I pulled up to him and I'm like, okay, this is the deal. This is your choice. You can either abide by the rules or you can continue bitching about whatever and leave.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to deal with it. And so they chose to stay. We took care of that. We nipped it in the bud. He ended up staying, had a great time.
You've never had anybody just turn around and get nasty back with you? Oh, good.
No.
Thank goodness.
No, I think probably because they know ahead of time, like, I will punch you in your throat.
That's awesome. You're a rock star. Again, having the background you have, don't mess with Suzy Q here. So if people are interested in this kind of work, what do you have to have training? How can they find these jobs?
So this one here, the company we are with, they're based out of Lakeside, Arizona, and the guy that started the company worked for the Forest Service for a while and has always been about preserving the forest, but also getting people out to enjoy it. And so he presented something to the Forest Service about them being the concessionaire for this area, but they continue expanding into New Mexico, Colorado, Wyoming, Idaho. And it's literally anybody can do it. But if you don't understand customer service, you're going to have a rough time,
some of that.
Because we do have a couple of camp hosts that they have to be right about everything. And so they've been talked to, but you get training. It's really not that hard. You know, I check people in, I look at my reservation stuff, and I take money, I hand out firewood, I do my rounds, cleaning the bathrooms, picking things up. Tomorrow I'll be going through weed whacking, things like that. So, but I
So
tell,
a few basic skills.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
but you know, a lot of, I was just telling somebody that I'm probably the youngest camp host by about 20 years up here.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Because I retired so early, and a lot of them, you know, they went up until 62, 65, whatnot. And, you know, I had a mate. I retired at like 40. I don't even
You've
remember.
earned it though, man.
46,
You've
I think.
earned it. I know. Don't you hate that when people say, "Oh, you're too young to be retired"?
Yes.
No, you're not. You've gone through it. You've had your share. No, you're not.
I know. I'm like, I put in my time. Trust me.
Having this job, do you get? Is it for an exchange for free camping? Do they actually pay you? Are they all different or?
So with our company, we actually get paid, and it's based on the revenue that comes in. Depends on what we're going to get paid. So for my campground, the first year I was here, we brought in some revenue, you know, not a lot, but then as people got to know me, more people started coming up. The past 2 years, I was bringing in a lot more revenue, so they gave me a raise this year. I was like, yay!
All right, that's always cool.
But there are other companies that you do the work and then you get the free hookups and a free place to stay, etc. I told them when they hired me, they didn't have to pay me. I would do it for free because,
well, yeah,
hello, I get to be in the mountains, and it's, I think, 70 degrees right now.
Oh,
the wind is
wonderful.
blowing.
I know.
And
I've
it's 100 and
here.
something down in the valley. So, yeah, that's just an extra perk to get paid on top of it. So it just depends on who they go with, what type of campground, etc.
So you definitely recommend this for other women to get out and do it, especially like I've come across a lot of full-time women that are out here on the road and want a little income on the side to sustain them while they're out here. So you definitely would recommend it.
Yep. Especially if they're confident, they're strong, they're confident in who they are. It's funny, I even get guys, they're like, but aren't you scared of staying here by yourself? And I said, of what? If somebody comes in my camera, they're going to meet my 45.
Yeah.
So what am I scared of? They could break into my house at home as well. Yeah. But I'm like, I'm literally in the middle of nowhere. Why are they going to break in? There's nothing in there.
Yeah. And so your setup here is a fifth wheel?
Yes, it's a fifth wheel toy hauler.
Okay.
So the back winds up being most of my storage area, kind of my office area with my printer, things like that. But I'm also remodeling a Heartland camper. It's got great bones, and so that's going to be, as one of the other campers said here, my goddess retreat.
Oh, nice.
And it has a lot more room, big windows and whatnot, but the toy hauler works okay, but I have no storage. So if you're thinking of doing this, don't do it in a toy hauler.
What would you recommend
I would definitely recommend something with an actual kitchen, plenty of storage, pantry, whatnot, and a bedroom with actual dressers and closet and stuff. It doesn't have to be overly big, but as long as you have a place to put your stuff, it's so much easier, because right now my closet is about this wide.
Yeah, and for you're here 6 months?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a long time.
And when I got here, we had snow and it dropped down to 24 degrees. And by the time I leave, it's going to be cold again. So I literally go through all the seasons. So I need all the clothes.
Yes. And by the way, guys, that's Win in the background. That's her dog. He's so cute.
Win, come
here.
here.
What are you doing?
Hi.
Here he comes.
You want to come say hi?
It's so cute because when she's doing her round campground,
hi,
he just rides along with her and he'll just run everywhere. He's so cute. Hi, Lee.
Say hi. He's a lover boy.
I noticed too, because you have your truck here, that makes it easy for you to run into town anytime you need supplies.
Yep. And so we just came back today. We went to the smaller town. I just wanted a couple of things, groceries and some fruit that I didn't want my husband to have to worry about getting and sitting at the house for a week before he comes up on Saturday.
Oh, he's coming up. That's good. I was going to ask, does he come up and hang out with you?
Oh, yeah. So he'll be up here, I think, Saturday till Tuesday. then he goes back and works. He's a firefighter, so he has a random schedule. And then he'll probably be up here around the 4th, and he's going to take some more time off. But he tries to be up here about every other month for about 10 days or so.
Oh, nice.
They go fishing. Our son comes up here.
Oh,
Last
good.
year, our oldest daughter surprised me and drove out here from Texas. And I got back from my rounds and I opened my door and I'm like, why is there a dog in my
Oh, what a
camper?
nice surprise.
And she's sitting on the couch and she leans her head over and she says,
Oh,
bonjour.
oh, that's cool. I bet you were happy.
Yes, I was so happy. And then we've got the younger kids in Minnesota and Montana, and they're trying to work it out when they can come down too, because 2 of them are in college. So they're trying to work the schedules out that they can come down. So yeah, I love it. And the kids love it. The animals love it.
That's awesome. So I hear you are also a published writer.
I am.
And what do you enjoy writing about?
So my very first book was my memoirs, and it's called Hope Blooms in a Garden of Faith, which is funny because I actually have a tattoo that says the same thing. And I got this tattoo in 2012 after I started my second set of treatment for my second cancer. Thanks. And then I've got the flag. You can't see it very well, but you can see the green for the military, the gold for being a dispatcher, and then the blue for being law enforcement. And then it just all ties into the.
That's beautiful. I love the
flag.
color. I wish I could have color on my skin. It just doesn't show. I'm too dark.
But I started with hope and faith have always been, that's where I get my strength from. So I named my book Hope Blooms in a Garden of Faith, because even through all the trauma from childhood through high school, military, first cancer diagnosis at the age of 20 with a 6-month-old son, and then going into law enforcement, being diagnosed with cancer again, and just so many other things on top of it, it was my faith that I relied on to continue looking for the hope. So I titled it Hope Blooms in a Garden of Faith, and I wrote it under my pen name because my lieutenant started calling me Suzy Q years ago and kept singing the song to me. And then everybody started calling me that. So I've gone by Suzy Q for
years.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, then I started getting stuff in the mail for Suzy Quinn. And I said, so they just randomly made up a last name for my Q. Well, then I came up here and it coincided with the campground. And I said, oh, it's perfect. So that was where I came up with it. And then, so now that I finally have that done, I started writing it in 2014. Several people kept telling me I needed to share my story at a larger audience. So I did, but then in 2015, I was up here in the Alpine area and an idea for another book came to me and I started working on that. And then in 2019, I said, you know what? If I don't do my memoir, I'm never going to do it and it's going to weigh on me. And so it definitely helped with my healing. It was able, I was able to get my thoughts out, work through things. And thank God I was in therapy while I was writing it, because there were a few times it was real rough.
It's amazing though, once you start releasing that, how you start to heal.
Yes, absolutely.
Sure. Until you really talk about it and just let it go.
Yep.
It's works wonders.
And there's a lot of people that talk around the issue. And, people don't have to say exactly what happened, but at some point you have to go in and you have to remember it and you have to get it out on how you remember it. And then with the help of therapy, they will help walk you through the steps, because there's a lot of times when trauma happens, we get so tunnel visioned on the trauma, we're not actually stopping and looking at everything else around it. And, there's some trauma that is just absolutely horrible. I had a, 18-month-old little girl die in my arms.
Oh,
literally the same day I got my official certification for being an EMT. And it was so hard. I can actually talk about it now because, I know that I did everything that I could. It's still heartbreaking. Still tough, yeah. I'll never forget her face. So, trauma is very, it can almost be so debilitating at times.
I'm sure.
And I got to the point where instead of dealing with the trauma, I just kept pushing everything back, locking it up, locking it up. And then I just stayed busy. I was volunteering, I was working overtime, coaching, so many things. And I recognized that I was running from it. And when I stopped and recognized I need to deal with it head on, that was when I started healing. But unfortunately, because I let it go so long, I now have major depression, anxiety, and then all the side effects of that. So this year I decided I'm going to focus on me and getting
Good
back
for
to where I
you.
was,
Yeah.
because I've run half marathons. I ran a marathon in 2016 and I haven't run since 2016. And I was, I couldn't, between my medical stuff with my kidney stones and everything. I couldn't. And it definitely took its toll on me. And I had to work through a lot of things. My husband and I had to work through a lot of things together, because he had always known me as this active and energetic person, until all of a sudden it took everything I had just to get out of bed in the morning.
Yeah, I bet.
And even now, it's still a fight getting out of bed. Okay, let me get up, let me brush my teeth. And people take the basic things for granted. But when
For
you are
sure.
fighting with depression and you're fighting with that darkness overwhelming you, it's just the tiniest little things. And I just want to say this to people. Everybody always says, I'm here if you need me. Well, let me tell you, as somebody that's been in that dark, dark place, we are so focused on surviving and just taking the next breath that this is where we are. We're in this bubble, and it doesn't even come across our minds to reach out, because we are so focused on just surviving. So if you know somebody that has struggled, is in, any type of job where they're seeing trauma, or they were involved in some type of traumatic incident, reach out to them. Send them a text, call them.
Check in on them.
Yes, because it is too hard for those of us that are just trying to get by minute by minute to worry about who I'm reaching out to. And it's the furthest thing from our minds, is who should I call? And so I'm just asking, please check on other people. If they're always happy and seem like they're in a good mood, well, you know what? We learn to fake it really well.
Yeah. Wow, Suzy, thank you so much for opening up and talking about all. Again, thank you for inviting me to this beautiful place.
I am so glad you came. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. And I'm so glad that you became part of our walking tribe.
Yes, these ladies go walking in the evenings, and I just love it.
So this is his third year up here. He grew up here, and he's a toy Aussie. So he learned how to herd on my golf cart. So once we get going, he will take off.
Is that why?
Yes. Yep.
There he goes. It's great. Having him alone has been therapeutic.
Oh, absolutely.
I need a dog.
And I taught him how to be a psychiatric service dog. So I taught him to put his paws on my chest in the pressure point areas. Like when I start feeling anxious and stuff, he recognizes it and he comes up. So the other day, Katrina was upset over something. She was sitting on the couch and he crawled up on her and did the same to her. It was so sweet.
So we are at one of the vault toilets, and she's just going to give us a quick rundown of what she does every time she gets to the bathrooms.
So normally when I get here, I come in, I'm checking for toilet paper, how much toilet paper is there. I'm checking. So the biggest thing is making sure the lid on these stay closed to help with the flies, the smell, etc. But I check toilet paper, then I'll sweep, and then I'll mop. And then when I'm done mopping both sides, then I empty the water into the vaults, because that also helps with the smell too. This year I put wire mesh on the bottom of the doors, because we have chipmunks here and they like to go inside the bathrooms to stay warm, but then they pee and poop and make a mess. So I put those on there, and it's definitely helped a lot.
So for this job, do you think whoever's interested in doing this, are there many physical limitations too?
Not really. So last year, Memorial Day weekend, I was coming out of my camper. It was raining, and somehow I slipped
Oh.
and landed on my arm, and broke my elbow. So I was in here sweeping and mopping like this.
Oh.
I
So you just have to be careful out here.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, so that was the women's
like
side.
Anything, right?
Exactly. This is the men's side.
Yeah,
So
close
again,
the lids, guys.
yes, it's especially on vault toilets. So as you can see, the mesh here I put on the outside, it's definitely made a big difference with it. So that's the basics. Is I check toilet paper, restock if I need to, and I carry toilet paper on the golf cart when I come around in the mornings. I sweep, I mop, scrub the inside of the toilets with my big toilet brush thing, wipe down the lids, the seats, the sides, and all of that, and then empty everything and then on to the next one. There are some times that when I come around, I have to hang tags up on the reservation sites and whatnot. So I might stop, clean a bathroom, and then hang tags, clean the next bathroom, so on.
Yeah. Just do a little bit as you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not
So,
bad.
and then other places around here, I try to keep the areas around the fire pits cleaned so people can have fires and not catch any sparks. But there's some of them I have to do some more weed whacking. It gets a little out of control. So I'll be going through and doing that tomorrow. And then once people leave, I lift up their fire ring, clean out all the ash and stuff, and then throw it in the trash. And then that way it's clean too. So it's not a lot of work.
Yeah.
I tell people if I work longer than 2 hours a day, it was a long day.
Yeah, totally worth being able to stay here and have a camp spot.
Exactly. So, and like this weekend was a little bit slower. I think I've got 6 people coming in today. Most of them are already here. We're not going to take up a whole lot more time because the bugs are starting to eat us up.
Yes, they are. They're coming out.
So thanks for coming along on
yes,
my bathroom
thanks
rounds.
again, and we will talk again soon. Bye. Thanks again for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that video. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button and give me a thumbs up. Take care, and we will see you next time. Bye.